Have you ever wondered why the woman selling tomatoes in Mile 12, the woman selling Ankara in Balogun, the woman selling pepper in Bodija, or the woman selling shoes in Area always seems to have fresh stock, no bank advertisements, no billionaire investor, no venture capital, no collateral, no CAC certificate when she started? Yet somehow she never runs out of goods. She pays school fees, she contributes to family expenses, she even build a house. So where exactly is the money coming from? Now here is where it gets interesting. For generations, long before mobile banking, long before fintech, long before microfinance bank, long before digital wallet, Nigerian market women had already created a financial system that has helped millions of people grow businesses without paying one kobo in interest. Not one naira, not 1%, zero. And today, even as inflation continues to squeeze household incomes and many small businesses struggle with expensive loans and rising operating costs, this same system is still helping thousands of traders keep their businesses alive. Yet most universities don't teach it, most business schools barely mention it, but every market woman understands it. Today we are opening that notebook, we are revealing one of Nigeria's oldest business secrets. This is the story of Ajo. And trust me, by the end of this documentary, you will never look at Nigeria market the same way again. Welcome to Street MBA with Kapick, where street sense meet business wisdom to create business growth. I be Kapick, and today we are not learning from Wall Street, we are learning from Market Street. Before we continue, if you are an entrepreneur, a trader, a freelancer, a salary earner, or somebody who simply wants to understand how money really works, then you found the right channel. Here on Street MBA with Kapick, we break down the smartest business lessons hidden in everyday Nigerian life. So don't just watch, join the family, hit that subscribe button, like this video, and tell me in the comments, have you ever participated in Ajo? Or maybe your mom, your grandma, or somebody in your family still does. I genuinely want to know. Now, let's go back to today's lessons. One thing I love about Nigerians is that when life gets difficult, we don't just complain, we innovate. Sometimes that innovation doesn't come from professors. Sometimes it comes from ordinary people trying to survive. Let's travel back. Imagine Lagos about 17 years ago. No banking apps, no ATM, no POS, no mobile transfer, no QR code. Even opening a bank account wasn't easy for many ordinary Nigerians. Many people simply kept their money at home, under mattresses, inside cooking pots, inside ceiling boards, some buried money in the ground. Sounds funny today, but that was reality. Then market women asked themselves one simple question: what if we help ourselves? That one question gave birth to one of Africa's greatest financial inventions, Ajo. Among the Yorubas, it is called Ajo. Some people call it Esusu in northern Nigeria. Many communities know similar rotating savings group as Adashe. So across the world, economists classify this system as rotating savings and credit associations, or ROSCAs. Different names, same idea, simple, powerful, timeless. And here is what makes it brilliant: nobody pretend billions, nobody created new money, nobody borrowed from the IMF, nobody needed an app. The people simply agreed, we will save together. Quick question: would you trust 10 of your friends with your money every month? Be honest, pause this video, type yes or no in the comments, because your answer determines whether you survive inside an Ajo group. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine 10 traders, each contribute 20,000 naira every month. That's 200,000 naira. The first month, one member collects the entire 200,000 naira. The next month, another member collects, then another, until everybody has collected once. Simple, no interest, no hidden charges, no processing fee, no management fee, no service fee, just trust. Now, some people hear this and immediately say, Kapick, isn't that just saving? Not exactly. And this is where many people misunderstand Ajo. Because Ajo is not just about saving money, it is about solving a cash flow problem. And my fellow entrepreneurs, cash flow is the oxygen of every business. A profitable business can still die if cash doesn't arrive at the right time. Think about that now. Let's meet somebody. We will call her Mama Bisi. Mama Bisi sells tomato. December is coming. Demand is about to explode. She knows customers will buy more, but there's one problem. She needs 500,000 naira today to buy stock in bulk before prices rises. If she waits until she saves that money herself, the opportunity will be gone. By then, prices have increased, profit has disappeared, customers have moved elsewhere. And now, imagine she belongs to an Ajo group. This month, it's her turn. Immediately, she receives the pooled money. She buys plenty of tomatoes while they are still relatively cheaper. A few weeks later, prices rise. Everybody else is buying expensive stock. Mama Bisi, she's already selling, already making profit, already attracting customer. Do you see the difference? The money did not make her rich, timing did. And in business, timing is sometimes more valuable than capital itself. Write this down. Profit is important, but cash flow keeps your businesses alive. Never forget that. Many businesses don't fail because they are not profitable. They fail because money doesn't arrive when it is needed most. That is why I just survived generations. It's soft timing, not just saving. Let me ask you another question. Imagine somebody offers you 500,000 naira today or tells you to save 20,000 naira monthly until you reach 500,000 naira. Which would help your business grow faster? Exactly. That is the hidden most people don't see. That is the hidden power most people don't see. Now, don't misunderstand me. Banks are important. Banks grow on economies. Banks provide valuable service. This documentary is not about banks versus Ajo. It is about understanding why ordinary traders build their own financial system. Think about the average market trader. She wakes up before sunrise, returns home after sunset. Her records may be written in a notebook. Some may not have formal financial statement. Some may never have applied for a business loan. Even today, many micro and small businesses struggle to meet lending requirements or qualify for affordable credit. So instead of waiting, they relied on something even stronger: community, relationship, reputation. Because in many markets, your name is your credit score. If people know you keep your word, doors opens. If people know you are trustworthy, opportunities find you. If they don't trust you, even money becomes difficult to borrow. Think about that. Long before fintech started talking about trust scores, market women were already living it. Never underestimate reputation. One good name can be worth more than 1 million naira. Monies follow trust, customer follow trust, investor follow trust, opportunities follow trust. But here is where the story becomes even more interesting. If Ajo is so powerful, why has not everybody become rich? If it's truly zero interest, what is the catch? Can this same system also destroy businesses? And why are fintech companies suddenly borrowing ideas that Nigerian grandmothers have used for decades? Stay with me, because the answer might completely change how you think about money. Before we continue, let me clear up one of the biggest misconceptions about Ajo. People often say Ajo is free money. No, it is not. Others say Ajo is a loan. Not exactly, and this misunderstanding has made many people misuse the system. Here is the simplest way to understand it. Imagine you and your nine of your friends agree to save 50,000 naira every month. Everybody contributes faithfully. The first person collects 500,000 naira. The next month, another person collects. By the 10th month, every single person has received exactly what the group contributed. Nobody created new money. Nobody printed extra cash. Nobody magically became richer overnight. What Ajo really does is move time. You receive tomorrow's savings today. That is the real secret. Not free money, not miracle money. Future savings brought forward. And if you ask me, that's one of the smartest financial ideas ever created. Let me test your business brain. If I give you 1 million naira today to buy inventory before prices increase, would that help your business? Of course. Now, what if I told you that same 1 million naira is actually your own money, just arriving earlier than expected? Now you are beginning to understand Ajo. Let's be honest, Nigeria has tested everybody. Fuel prices have gone up, transportation costs have gone up, electricity costs have gone up, rent has gone up, Food prices have climbed. If you have gone to the market recently, you already know many traders now need significantly more capital to stock the same quantity of goods they could afford a few years ago. That reality has forced many entrepreneurs to think differently about cash flow. Now ask yourself, if your supplier says, "Pay me today," will motivation help you? No. Will business quotes on WhatsApp help? No. You need cash right there, right then. And that's exactly why many market associations still rely on rotating savings group and cooperative systems, not because they are old-fashioned, but because they solve an immediate business problem: access to working capital. Sometimes the oldest solution still solve today's biggest challenge. Let me tell you a familiar story. Imagine Mama Bose. She sells dry pepper and spices. Every year around November, she noticed something. Price starts increasing, demand rises, people begin buying for Christmas. She has two options. Option 1, buy small quantities every week. Watch price keep increasing, reduce profits. Option 2, collect her ajo payouts before the festive season. Buy in bulk, store properly, sell gradually. Which option makes most business sense? Exactly. She did not become successful because she worked harder than everybody else. She became successful because she understood timing. Business is not only about working hard, it's about buying at the right time, selling at the right time, collecting money at the right time, paying suppliers at the right time. Timing creates profit. Listen carefully. Many entrepreneurs chase funding. Smart entrepreneurs chase cash flow. Those two are not always the same. Have you ever missed a business opportunity? Business because you did not have money at the right time. I know many of us have. Most people think Ajo runs on money. Wrong. Money is only the tool. The real currency is trust. Imagine 10 people contributing every month. One person collects first. What stops the person from disappearing? Nothing except their reputation. That tells you something powerful. Communities don't just protect money, they protect relationship. That is why many traditional Ajo groups carefully choose members they know well: neighbors, family, church members, mosque members, market association, trade union, people whose name means something. Because once trust disappear, everything collapse. You know something interesting? Even today, biggest companies survive because of trust. People buy Apple product because they trust Apple. People order from Jumia because they trust they will receive something close to what they have was advertised. People keep money in banks because they trust they will still find it tomorrow. Without trust, commerce dies. The same principle applies whether you are running a trillion naira company or selling vegetables in Mushin. Trust kills. There is another form of wealth many entrepreneurs ignore: social capital. No, not social media followers. Relationships, connections, goodwill, your ability to pick up your phone and somebody answers, your supplier saying, "Pay me next week," your customer saying, "I will wait for your shop to open," your landlord saying, "I know you will pay." That is wealth. It does not show in your bank balance, but it shows in difficult times. Market women understand this better than many MBA graduates because they spent years building relationships before asking for favors. Quick challenge: think about 5 people who would genuinely support your businesses today. Only 5. If you can't think of anyone, then maybe your next investment should not be money. Maybe it should be relationship. Ajo did not only build businesses, it built families. Let's move away from business for a moment. Because Ajo has done something bigger, it has helped families survive. Many Nigerians have used rotating savings groups to pay school fees, pay rent, buy land, build houses gradually, organize weddings, handle emergencies. Long before buy now, pay later became popular online, communities had already created a way to spread financial pressure over time. Different system, same principle, helping ordinary people achieve goals they could not easily finance alone. So let's talk about the tailor. Imagine a young tailor. Business is growing, customers are increasing, but she still owns one sewing machine. She joins an Ajo group. Months later, it's her turn. She buys another industrial machine. Now she finishes job faster, takes more customer, hires an apprentice, business grow. Notice something? The money itself did not change her life. What she did with it did. This is another Street MBA with Kapick lesson. Capital is only powerful in disciplined hands. If you are still watching, Thank you. You are exactly the kind of entrepreneur this channel was created for. If this documentary has taught you something new, don't keep it to yourself. Share this video with one trader, one business owner, or one young entrepreneur. And if you have not subscribed yet, this is your reminder, because every week we break down real business lessons hiding in plain sight. No grammar, no unnecessary theory, just practical wisdom you can actually see. Now, let's continue. Here is something fascinating. For years, many people look down on Ajo. They call it outdated, old school, village finance. Then something happened. Technology arrived, and suddenly, people started building digital version of the same idea. Today, several Nigerian fintech companies encourage disciplined savings, while dedicated digital thrift platforms also help users organize rotating savings group with reminders, records, and transparent payout schedules. Different interface, same principle, encouraging consistency, building discipline, making saving easier. Technology did not kill the idea, it modernized it. Sometimes, innovation is not inventing something new, it is improving something that already works. But don't be deceived. Ajo is not perfect. In fact, one mistake, one dishonest organizer, or one careless decision can destroy years of trust. So, how do smart entrepreneurs protect themselves, and what lessons can billion-dollar businesses learn from women selling tomatoes, pepper, and fabric? That is where we are going next, and trust me, you don't want to miss it. The dark side of Ajo nobody likes talking about. Now, before you rush into joining the first Ajo group you see, let's have an honest conversation. Because every financial system, whether it's a bank, stocks, crypto, or Ajo, has risk. And one of the biggest mistakes entrepreneurs make is falling in love with rewards without understanding risk. You have probably heard stories before. Someone collected the first payout and disappeared. An organizer vanished with everyone's contribution. Friends became enemies, family stopped talking, market association broke apart. Sadly, those things happen not because Ajo is bad, but because human beings are not perfect. Ajo is built on trust. When trust is broken, the system suffers. That is why experienced traders don't just join any group. They ask questions. Who is organizing it? How long has the group existed? Who are the members? What happens if someone defaults? Is there proper record keeping? These questions may sound boring, but they can save you from losing years of hard work. Listen carefully. Never confuse familiarity with credibility. Just because someone is your friend doesn't automatically make them financially responsible. Business requires wisdom, not assumptions. Quick question: would you rather join an Ajo organized by 10 strangers or 5 people you've known for 20 years? Tell me why in the comments. I really want to read your answers. Now, let's talk about something many people don't notice: inflation. Imagine you join an Ajo today. You contribute 100,000 naira every month, but your turn comes after 10 months. Think about Nigeria for a moment. Can 1 million naira today buy exactly what 1 million naira will buy 10 months from now? Probably not. Prices changes, fuel changes, transport changes, food changes, even the cost of doing business changes. That means timing matters. Sometimes collecting early is an advantage. Sometimes collecting late reduces your purchasing power. This is why experienced traders often negotiate payout positions based on when they actually need capital, not because they are greedy, but because business is about planning. The smartest entrepreneurs don't just ask how much, they ask when, because when can be just as important as how much. Cash delayed can become opportunity lost. Never ignore timing in business decision. Now, here's the part that fascinated me the most while researching this documentary. People often assume the biggest business lesson comes from Silicon Valley, but sometimes they come from Mushin, from Balogun, from Ariaria, from Onitsha Market, from Mile 12. Let's think about it. Why do companies like Netflix want monthly subscriptions? Why do gym encourage recurring membership? Why do software companies charge every month? Because predictable cash flow makes planning easier. They know roughly how much money is coming in. Now compare that principle to Ajo. Every member knows money is coming in consistently. Different business models, same underlying principle. predictability, consistency, commitment. Sometimes Street MBA and Harvard MBA are talking about the same thing, they just use different vocabulary. Here is something to think about. If Nigerian market women had invented Adashe today and launched it as a Silicon Valley startup, people might call it the future of community finance. Sometimes the world celebrates an idea only after someone put it inside an app. Something interesting is happening. Technology is not replacing Adashe, it is evolving it. Today, there are digital thrift platforms, cooperative apps, savings communities, automated contributions reminder, digital records, electronic transfer. Instead of writing names in a notebook, many groups now use smartphones. Instead of cash, they use bank transfers. Instead of someone calculating contributions manually, software keeps the record. The technology changed, the philosophy did not. Save together, grow together, trust each other. That's the lesson, and that is why traditional finance and fintech are no longer enemies. They are becoming partners. Grandma and the app. Imagine your grandmother has done her job for 30 years. Every Friday, she contributes. One day, her granddaughter introduced her to a digital version. Grandma laughs. My daughter, we've been doing this before smartphones were born. That moment says everything. Technology did not invent discipline. It only made discipline easier. Don't reject old ideas simply because they are old, and don't accept new ideas simply because they are new. Judge every idea by whether it solves a real problem. Let's bring everything together. Lesson 1. Cash flow is a king. Profit on paper won't pay suppliers. Cash will. Lesson 2. Your reputation is an asset. Protect your name. It opens doors money cannot. Lesson 3. Discipline beats motivation. People don't stay in a job because they are excited every month. They stay because they are committed. Business works the same way. Lesson 4. Community creates opportunity. No entrepreneur succeed alone. Build relationship before you need them. Lesson 5. Timing creates profits. Buying inventory before prices rise. Expanding before demand peaks. Preparing before opportunity arrive. That is smart business. Lesson 6. Keep proper records. One reason some Adashe groups fails is poor documentation. Whether you are selling wigs, running a barber shop, or operating a supermarket, know your numbers. Lesson 7. Don't consume business capital. This one is painful. Many entrepreneurs collect money meant for expansion, then spend it on unnecessary lifestyle. Adashe can grow your business, but only if you treat business money like business money. Let me ask you something. If somebody gave you 2 million naira today, would your business actually grow, or would your spending increase? Think carefully, because money does not solve discipline problem, it exposes them. You know, the greatest school in Nigeria might be the market. Sometimes we underestimate ordinary people. We think because someone did not attend university, they don't understand business. That is a dangerous mindset. Many market women cannot explain working capital using textbook definitions, but they understand it. Many may never use the phrase behavioral economics, but they practice it every day. Many may never have heard of social capital, yet they spend decades building it. That is why I always say Street MBA with Kapick is not about replacing formal education. It is about respecting practical wisdom, because experience teaches lessons that no classroom can fully replicate. Let's go back to where we started. That market woman who always seems to have fresh stock, who always pays her suppliers, who somehow survives every economic crisis. Maybe her greatest advantage is not that she has more money. Maybe she simply understands money differently. She understands relationship, discipline, community, timing, trust, things that don't appear on a balance sheet but determine whether businesses survive. Before mobile apps, before mobile banking, before fintech, before venture capital, before business influencers, our mothers, our grandmothers, our market women had already built a financial system that kept family afloat, educated children, expanded businesses, and strengthened communities, not with complicated algorithms, not with billion-dollar investments, but with something many people overlook: trust. Imagine that one simple idea passed from one generation to another. still teaching entrepreneur valuable lessons today. Maybe the next billion naira business idea is not hidden in a foreign textbook. Maybe it is already working through Balogun market. Maybe it is bargaining in Araria. Maybe it is arranging tomatoes in my 12. Maybe it is right there in the street we pass every day. Because here on Street MBA with Kapick, we believe something powerful. The street is not just a place of hustle, it is a classroom, and those who pay attention graduate with wisdom. If today's documentary changed the way you think about business, don't let it end here. Share this video with one entrepreneur, one trader, one student, or one person who believes success only comes from expensive business school, because sometimes the greatest MBA is hiding inside your neighborhood market. If you are new here, subscribe to Street MBA with Kapick. We don't just talk business, we decode the hidden business lesson we hide everyday Nigerian life. And if you enjoyed this documentary, you will love the next one, because next week we are uncovering another business secret that's been hiding in plain sight. Until then, keep learning, keep building, keep thinking differently. I be Kapick, and I will see you in the next episode. Stay sharp, stay street smart, apply the lesson learned for today. Wash